Look at you, Brenda. That's a beautiful thing to say. I love an open atmosphere and willingness to share and pseudo mentor. I have grown to love EXP growth. Oh, good. Good. Good morning, Subi. Hey, Harry. All right, it's 9:30. We're going to give a couple more minutes. Hey, Lois. Fernandez Realty, you need to have your camera on, please. Same, Melissa and Lovey. I don't know if you're doing that too. There we go.
Guys.
Thank you. Hey, Lois. You're all awake. That's good, Lois. Beautiful.
Just woke up. No, kidding.
We got California folks here. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Lynn. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Ooh, we have somebody from Dallas. That's cool.
Yeah. Brenda. We got a couple of California. Lovey, where are you from?
California.
Cleveland. Nice. We got some. Let's see. Some folks are stuck, so let's give them a minute.
This is awesome, Carolyn.
Aw, thanks, Louis. Good morning, David.
Good morning. I hope this works.
Yeah, so
Coming
far.
Coming to you all the way from Rhode Island.
To Rhode Island.
All the way from across the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got Dallas here and a few from California, Cleveland. Very nice.
I've lived in all those places except for Cleveland.
I want to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It is totally on my bucket list.
Yeah. I've been to the NFL Hall of Fame. I used to live in Fort Wayne, so I drove over to Canton, Ohio. Yeah, for that.
Oh, nice. Hey, Rachel, you need your camera on.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry. I'm trying to find a hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I don't know if Mike is here. He sent a WhatsApp. He's having a hard time getting in.
Yeah, I just sent it to him as well. He was having trouble.
Sorry.
He's in Tennessee, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to get started. We're 3 minutes behind. I apologize about that. I think we got a few. Oh, no, here's a couple more coming in. Okay. Okay, well, we got a lot to cover. So I'm going to just get started, and then I just want to say, please feel free to, this is casual, this is informative, this is conversation. That's why I want all the cameras on. I want to make sure we can see each other. So let's just get going. So the dates, as you know, are today the 17th, the 24th. Am I recording? I want to make sure. Yes.
Said you were, yeah.
Okay, good. And then the 31st. So all Thursday mornings, 9:30 Eastern time. Thank you again, the West Coast. And it is at expandme.com. If we go overtime, I'm totally cool with that. Whatever your schedules are, we will respect those, of course. So what we're going to go over, we've got to get through some of the dry stuff, fortunately. So this week, we're going to go over some compliance, how the revenue share works, all the idiosyncrasies of it. The numbers, we're going to be crunching some numbers today. We're going to be going over goals and where to look to put your plan in place. So this is all the background of everything, so you'll understand it. Then next week on the 24th, we're going to go through 7 specific steps for agent attraction, interviews, presentation, meeting flow. There are 7 very specific steps that can be repeated that really work. We're going to go through that and do a lot of back and forth and conversations with that. And then the 3rd week on the 31st, we're going to go through a long range plan. So you can all have a plan to do this. The Join app, the overview of teams. If anybody wants to do teams, there's a lot of pieces to that too. And then any follow-up and support that you might need and where to find it. You'll also at the end have all the links and resources that you need as well. If you have any questions, throw it in chat. Just talk if you'd like to. All good. I'm just going to keep letting people in here. My name is Carolyn Kindley. I am a designated state broker for EXP. I'm licensed in a few states. I'm also team leader of Brokers Without Borders, which we're currently in 27 states. We have about 64 members, 5 pending at this point, and we're in 3 countries. I've been a principal broker since 2000 for Remax. I was KW CEO. I worked for Compass Redfin Boutique. Finally found home at EXP, which took me a while, but here I am. I've been written up in different publications and whatnot, but I think the one that I'm most proud of is Ones to Watch by Rise Media in 2007 when everything crashed. So that was kind of fun. But anyway, so that's just a little bit of my background. I decided to do this and put this together because there are so many people. As a designated broker, I hear all the time people that just are completely lost when they come in and they want to do agent attraction, but I think they're not exactly sure of how to do it. They're not comfortable enough in everything that they need to know, which is a lot. I'll admit it. There's a lot of pieces to this, but also like, let's just teach this. Let's give you all the resources that you need so you can just keep going when you're ready and do it however you want. So this is just the way I have done it and the way I teach it to be done. And so I just wanted to share all that. So thanks for joining me on that. I appreciate it. Okay, so the experience piece. So tell me, who is currently participating in agent attraction? And if you call it recruiting, I'll call you out on it. Matthew, cool. Tell us a little bit about it. How's it been working?
It's going pretty good. I took a class on it, that was great, but it's going pretty good. One of my direct sponsors is out of Florida, so he's coming out here tomorrow to do an event. So he does a lot of those,
Nice.
some of them webinars, so that helps us, but it's going pretty good. I've only been with EXP about 11 months, maybe 10. So I only have 2, but I was gone for 7
Hey,
months.
it's
so
more
I
than
just-
nothing.
Yeah.
So you've been here for 10 months. And you did that too in 10 months. Beautiful. So what are you looking to get out of this? So you went to a class, and so like, what are the guts of what you'd like to learn?
Well, you know what? I think what it is, I think a lot of people have the knowledge, right? If you know enough about EXP to be able to sound intelligently, not everything about it, but enough to answer some basic questions. But I think it's more of the call reluctance or fear of rejection, but just kind of getting that out of your head, getting that monkey out of your head. So one thing I heard from somebody who does really well, it says, just go for the people who are swimming towards the boat, not the ones that are away, that are fighting it too much. But
Yeah, exactly. David, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing with agent attraction.
I actually, honestly, I have kind of throttled back on the attracting part for a while because I've been focusing on production so much. When I came on board, it was like 2017. No one in New England had even heard of EXP, and in the beginning, this will probably lead into some of your do's and don'ts, but I was spammed into EXP. My sponsor sent me a spam text. I answered it just out of curiosity because I'm generally curious. And I didn't know she had spammed everyone in the MLS. And she and her sponsor were both booted from EXP a few years ago. So I basically came in totally alone and just sort of loved the model. And so as I went to try to show people, I have 10 in my group now. Some have left for greener pastures or for whatever reason. There's always some attrition, but I've had a few successes. Frank being one of them. Frank is doing amazing, and he actually kind of found me, but But back to why I've been focusing on production is so that I can eat, sleep, live, and breathe the actual thing that I'm trying to get to people. Now that I'm an icon agent, I can honestly tell them what it's like, what it gets, and I feel like I have a little bit of that credibility because I felt like I had a bit of imposter syndrome for a while, having shifted careers into real estate relatively a short time ago, just 7 years ago.
Oh, wait, so imposter syndrome, what does that mean?
Imposter syndrome is where you feel like you don't like you're doing the thing you're doing, but you're not really sure if you really belong, or you're not really sure if you have the skills to do it. And I think we all have that self-doubt to a degree. And I came from the world of broadcasting, moved into real estate. And honestly, it took me a couple years to find my legs and figure out, what works and what doesn't work, And so and during that second year in, I joined EXP. So I really was kind of just swimming and trying to find so much and being fed by the fire hose that I didn't do well in attracting people at first. And then as I started building a little bit more credibility, had more conversations, the conversations come a little bit easier. So now I'm just about ready to go full throttle and see how much damage I can do out there.
Very nice, very nice. Okay. Mike and I think Robin, you guys, can you turn your cameras on, please? I'd appreciate that. Hey, hey, David, Megan, who else has done some agent attraction to date? Who else is dabbling in it? Or hey, Levy, tell us about your experience.
So I came over to EXP in April, and I have started a Women Who Invest in Real Estate group here in Cleveland. And out of nowhere, just from what I've already been doing, an agent from my previous broker just said, like, I want to do what you're doing. I want to join with you. I got recruited from somebody else, not like aggressively. She was kind of passive about it. She just had no idea that I was looking to move. So when I got the agent coming to me, I was like, okay, wait, this is really a thing. And this is something that I really should take more control over and learn more exactly about how it goes. She just joined over like the last 2 weeks ago. So now I'm like, okay, I want to do the right thing. I want to help her in the best way. And not that the agent who recruited me wasn't great. I'm just a very self-sufficient person as to where I know other people won't be as I am. So now I'm taking it more serious to say, what do I need to know? How can I best help her succeed? And then really take advantage of not just her, but everybody who may be kind of in this same situation.
Oh, nice, nice. Oh, that's great. That's great. Who else? Who else has been dabbling in this or going full force? Megan.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I think that the gal who just spoke, and I forgot her name, I think there's a couple ways to navigate this. Now, I'm no expert, okay? I only have one person in my organization, but she's out in Arizona and she does incredible. And she came to me through like a mastermind coaching program. So that's how she came to me, because we knew each other from this group. And so just like the gal from Cincinnati said, it's like these groups that you can, put yourselves in or create. So she came to me. I went to my sponsor because I saw her on social media. So I think that's huge. So, and then just adding value. So if it's a women in real estate investing, or if it's a guys group or a girls group, and you just add value and you show up, I think naturally you'll attract people. But I haven't gotten, I know that we can do these things, but I haven't gotten real good at doing them.
Well, touche that you know that, but I agree with you. Attraction will just happen, but if you have a focused way of doing it, it just happens more. And it happens, right? But that's the right attitude, not to push by all means. Right. Melissa, you had your hand up as well. Tell us about your agent attraction.
Hi everyone, good morning. So I've been with EXP maybe about a year and a half now, and it's been a long. And I'm very glad to be home, as Carolyn had referred to, and I really believe in the model and so forth. As far as the agent attraction, I personally love it, but I am not comfortable in how to really perfect it. So that's why I'm here, and also, to learn, obviously learn as much as I can. I do have, I've had maybe about 10 or 11 in my downline. Some have left for various reasons. And I'm looking to really grow the agent attraction. And I just feel that the model's unbelievable, but I need to learn more and perfect on how to attract and, and help assist. I think for me personally, I think attracting agents, we need to be helping them and be part of their, maybe it's not day to day, but weekly, no matter where they are in the country or even if they're in the world. And I'm here to learn and grow and help.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, the next piece of this then. So to create value today, please be available and focused, cameras on. It's a contact sport. I mean, we're supposed to be talking to each other. Take notes. We're going to be asking questions and asking you to think about stuff. And just participate, just be present, which would be great. And if you have any thoughts, I think most of you are in the agent attraction workplace chat. That has been a little bit dormant for a while. So this is a great time for us. Now you've met some of these people and we can have conversations in there as well. Now, that said, a couple of you had talked about your mindset and where you were in all of this, maybe not knowing enough or a little nervous about this or that. What is your, Rachel, we'll start with you. What is your mind frame as of today about agent attraction?
So I was listening to everyone. I think it sounds like everyone's at different levels and I'm at the very, very beginning. So I'm just here to really understand. I myself, I started I think end of February, and I'm still learning and to share with others all the, I just feel like I don't have enough information to share with everyone. I just know that it's, an awesome program. It's, it's like Davin was, when he said imposter syndrome, I was like, that's it. I feel like I want to be a part of it, but there's so much that I have to learn and to teach or to share with someone else. I feel like I need more of a footing first, like a stable footing before I can put myself out there. I have a couple of people in mind, but before I reach out to them and just start babbling about, oh, this is so cool, this avatar you can build, it's just, I want to learn so much more before I reach out. And Lynn, when you put this out, I was like, anything you're training, I'm learning. So that's kind of where I'm at. Just starting from the very bottom with, and then just time management and learning how to, devote that time to also reach out, because it is a lot. It's just another chunk of time that needs to, I feel that needs to be dedicated to this. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Thank you, Rachel. Jackson, I haven't heard from you yet. Where are you in this whole thing? How's your frame of mind? Could you go talk to somebody tomorrow? You ready?
I am. I am. I've been at EXP a couple years, and I'm having some pretty good success with attraction, but it's taken 2 years. So I think, when I first saw this, I was just like, wow, like a lot of people are just like, wow, this is an amazing opportunity. I have a teaching background. I have 2 teaching credentials. And so I kind of like to help, and it's I kind of look at it now as like agents aren't coming over to EXP for me. I don't, this isn't about me. It's about them and their struggles and trying to get the point across, or not get the point across, but just building a relationship with people. It's not just like a one-time call, like, hey, let's go to have lunch. This is an amazing place to go eat. That's not what this is about. It's a complex animal, monster, whatever you want to call it, but it's it's truly the change of Blockbuster to Netflix.
Mm,
And I look at it as recruiting. I'm not a top producer. So me personally, I'm not going to attract people other than through my personality. And there's that saying that I'm probably gonna, I will butcher it, but it's well, I don't remember what it is really, but it's something about, it's not about what you know, but people aren't gonna really be interested in what you know until they know you.
oh,
And
exactly.
so you really kind of got to get to know people and find the people that interest you online. You're like, wow, they have a curiosity about them. So then when you go to approach them, you have something to talk to about, not just, hey, it's an 80-20 split, but you can get 100% of it back. And most people, it's kind of like when you walk onto a car lot or something, you're looking for a car, but can I help you? Like, nope. You just have that instinct to say
Oh,
no.
absolutely. And nobody wants to be sold. That's a big
Nobody
part of it.
wants to be
Nobody
sold.
wants to be
Doesn't
sold.
matter. It's important to know this model, know everything about it. It's complex, as
It's
a
very
speaker.
complex. Yeah. You said something there also about it's not about you. It is in respect of who are you being, who are you showing up? If somebody's going to listen to you, if they trust you, if they like you, if they're engaged with you, they're going to listen to you. But no, it's not about us at all. And as soon as and I'm not saying you do, but just in general, as soon as you get out of that mindset, like what's in it for me, that people don't see that.
No, and it's, you got to find out, you'll see somebody out there in a group or somebody that's struggling, and it's a perfect opportunity to reach out to them. I mean, there's so much here. I was talking with Matthew, who's on this call, and it's like you almost have to have friends on here that are seeing things happening, because there's so much here. There's so many weapons at this company. There's Zooms and things you just miss that are just so great, because there's so much
Oh,
here
yeah.
to learn
No,
and
there's so many
use. And
resources. Yeah.
so, but yeah, it's been, but I've poured into this. I've been 100% into this from day one, and just watching people and learning, and you just have to be dedicated to this. For me, I'm just speaking for myself.
And how it looks for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to share their thoughts about just where they are in it? Okay, well, you'll get called in anyway, so it's all good. Let's get into some of the guts of it here. So when you're done with this, so you will have a good understanding of the agent attraction process. You'll have your goal set, you'll have a plan in place. You will have a simple and easily repeatable system. You're going to understand what works and what doesn't. If you don't already, there's a lot of pieces to that. You should have a relaxed and ready frame of mind, and then you will also have all the resources and links to share that you need. And David, certainly go right ahead and ask a question.
So I'm just kind of curious. I know you've been with EXP for a couple of years or so. How many have you got in your organization total since you've been here?
I've recruited, yeah. Well, I only started last year. I just started
last year. Okay, yeah, it seems
I've
longer.
been
I mean,
here
in a good way.
Yeah, I've been here longer, but I didn't start until a year, and I was really trying to get my bearings around what the job entailed and everything. But I'm going to say 75.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, this is what you'll have when you're done. We're building on the basis. So I wanted the culture part. I know you probably have all seen this. This is everywhere, but I think the culture part of is huge. This is really where it comes from. When I was in franchises and did an awful lot there, what I noticed the second I got into EXP, and I don't know if you all noticed this as well, is that the top producers, those heavy hitters, were all willing to share their ideas. They were willing to share all of it. Whereas and I don't mean to bash any franchise at all, they're just structured differently. They're coming from a place that, okay, well, here I am. I had two Remax offices. I was in Southern New Hampshire, and that was my posse, but we didn't connect with the other ones because there was kind of a competition going on there. when you come to EXP, everybody is more than willing to share. That's a huge part of the culture. And I think that's something that we all have to get out there, I guess, from that standpoint. So you all know what these are, but if there are some of these that really speak to you and really make sense, take note of them, talk about them. And you're coming from your heart. You're coming from, here's what I believe. Here's what it is I really like about EXP. So this is what you want to share. You don't have to know all of them. You don't have to spew them. That's not it at all. What part of this stuff do you love? And just internalize that. Okay. Now, this is the agent attraction pledge. We have to do a little bit of the compliance, which I know is not the most interesting stuff, but it's there and we have to do it. So just a few, I will have links to all of this for you. You'll have a sheet that you have all this information on, but just a couple I wanted to point out here. The third or fourth one down, EXP's core value of transparency by instructing others that earning revenue share and commissions comes from hard work and dedication and is not guaranteed. Your pledge is, I will create realistic expectations to prospects and never implying that someone is assured to make money by simply joining EXP. I hear that all the time. Well, I want to make all this money. You can. It is there. All of the pieces are there, but you have to go through it. It's not just gonna happen. And it's a long range plan. It's, you can get to wherever you want to get to, which again is why we're going to do goals. You can get there. That's fine. It's just it's step by step by step by step. But we are never to say, hey, come on, you can make all kinds of money. You can, but it takes work. It's not easy. It's not passive income. They hate that word at EXP. It's not that at all. It's just part of something else you can do. It's, if there are so many income streams at EXP, there's revenue share obviously is a big one. I'll be completely honest. I started to do revenue share because I got 15 years, maybe less, 20 years left in this business. I knew nobody was going to buy my Remax. I knew I wasn't good. I had to look at long-term planning and my exit strategy, and this just made sense. We all have our whys, and we'll get into that a little bit as well. The other part of it that is really important is I pledge never to poach, interfere, or incentivize anyone else that is being spoken to by another EXP agent. We'll get into that too. That's a big deal. And then the other one is team before self mentality. And we talked about that a little bit already. This is not about what's in it for me. And when you come from that place, they know it. They know it. You want to make sure you've got compliant advertising. That's something that you probably already know. That's a big piece of it. Ethical business practices, obviously, and then just continue to learn. But this is just the pledge that we all say, yeah, if we're going to do agent attraction, this is how we're going to do it. So just wanted to share some of that stuff. Defining interference. This is a big deal. This is why people get kicked out of EXP sometimes. So if someone is already speaking to an agent, and this happens all the time, I talk to people all the time that tell me, well, I was talking to this one. Okay, well, are you still engaged in talking to this person? Because I'm going to back out. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to get in anybody's way. I'm not trying to steal anybody from anybody. That's not who we are, and that's totally not in culture. But when it comes to that, you just don't want to disrupt anybody's quote recruitment efforts of any other agents. And the only way to know that is to ask that question. Now, they also, when they go to the Join app, we'll go through this a little bit as well. They are asked very specifically, who most influenced you? And you answer that. That agent is going to answer that. So they might have talked to someone, and I know of some of you in here now that had to choose, well, who do I want to go to? It wasn't necessarily the first person that they were dealing with. It could have been somebody down the line that was helping them, because the first person came in, spewed EXP, and then left, and then somebody else came in. So that's your call to do that. Jackson, absolutely. Go ahead with a question.
I've been coming across agents who are like interviewing like multiple agents at the same time. In particular, I had one that I was speaking with. We'd done Zooms back in like January, but they were just really trying to find out the best fit for them. And they were talking like 3-4 different people at the same time. And then in that case, so I was just kind of curious, because I think, it's kind of like sending out a video, like you can't start it out, have you heard of EXP anymore? Because we're kind of past that. But then it seems like this one agent, even after I spoke with them, had signed the Join app, but she backed out of that. And she's like, I have to wait 6 months because I knew this was not the person that I needed to align with.
But the other part of that though, Jackson, is there's 2 things going on here. Hopefully the sponsor that you work with is there to help you, but it could also be a team person. Unfortunately, a sponsor has no requirements. There's nothing that they're supposed to do at EXP. Now, if you join a team, yes, that team has requirements. There's things that they're supposed to do with support and everything else. But just the sponsor piece, I can tell you that in seeing offboarding in the different states, the biggest piece is they're lost. Nobody's talking to them. If they come in as an independent agent and don't join a team, they feel lost. It's huge, it's cavernous, there are too many resources, and they leave. That means their sponsor didn't do a good job, but it wasn't their job to coach that person. So yeah, that happens. And you do have to leave for 181 days before you come back with a new sponsor if you choose to do that.
This was before she even joined. This was even after I had spoken. I was the very first person to speak with this agent. She's the number 2 agent in at her company, and she was still just kind of she's like, I just got to make sure I'm joining the right group. She was very versed on what she was doing at that point, and so but that's why I was kind of curious. Like at the same time, she was just talking to multiple people.
And she can do whatever she wants. Now, where the sponsors come into that, and what they should have been doing is asking that question. Like, you obviously must have asked that question. Like, are you talking to somebody else at EXP? And, I'll back out. I'm not going to push you, but I'm here if you need anything. It's their 100% their call who they want to have as a sponsor. Just because you talk to them first or talk to them longest doesn't mean you're going to be their sponsor. So like, show up in the beginning, make sense in the beginning, be there as support in the beginning.
What's the difference between like a mentor and a coach?
Well, a mentor is something that when you come into EXP, if you have had less than 3 transactions in the past 12 months, wherever you were, you automatically get a mentor. A coach is just, you hire a coach. A team leader is their support from the team. And a sponsor is just the person that introduced you and most influenced you to be part of EXP. So those are the 4 different pieces to it.
Okay.
Okay, so then just the best practices for avoiding interference, obviously respect boundaries, and refer prospective agents back to the prior contact. But again, it's totally their call. Discover if a prospective agent is already engaged in the attraction process. Ask the question, hey, are you talking to anybody at EXP? And they could be like, yeah, I think they're great and I think I'm going to join. Or they're going to be like, yeah, but she dropped me like a hot potato. Then there's your in, right? It's their call. I want to learn about it. I want to talk about it. There's your in. Obviously you're not going to, no disparaging, fellow agents, focus on your own strengths. You can't be everybody. We all see them out there on Google and everything else, those that are just heavy hitters. We're going to go through some of those numbers in a bit too. If you're not those people, you're not those people. Be you, be authentic. People are going to see right through it. I will also give you the agent attraction guidelines just so you can see, just get to know it. I mean, it's common sense and, take the high road. It's really what it all boils down to. Contact information, if you have anything about that, it's Natasha Kakish is the person in compliance at EXP. She rocks. If you have any questions about that, you can go to her. You can ask me, whatever, but she's the guru. She knows all this stuff. Okay. Any questions about that before we move on? Okay. Who are the agent attractors? So this is how this looks at EXP. There are different groups, and I wanted to kind of delve into this just to show you how much opportunity there is. So if you see here, a builder. Now, everybody, you find this in your My EXP and your rev share sheet. The builders, they have under 5 FLA, frontline agents. For those of you, and I don't want to dumb this down at all, but I just want to make sure everybody understands. FLA, frontline agent, means somebody that you brought on directly. They're on your very first line. FLQA is frontline qualifying agent. And what that is that they have qualified, they have had one transaction within a 6-month period that generated over $5,000. So the builders is, first it's agents that aren't doing it at all. And you won't believe how many are not doing it at all, but it's their call. Then the next is builders, 5+ frontline agents. Then the next is the leader group, and that's 10+ frontline agents. Then it gets into beta, which is 200+ total active agents and 15 FLQAs. And then alpha, they don't even have a group. Like that, you get invited personally for that. That's 1,000+ total, plus 25 FLQAs, or 2,000 total and 20 FLQAs. Now, I want to say something about this. When you see, we're going to get into calculators in a minute. When you see these numbers at 25, 25 is like the threshold. You want to have 25 agents that you brought in directly, because it opens up every other line. It opens up every line beneath you as you're moving forward. So no matter where you are in here, and all of you, if you even have one or just want to get started, you can go to Workplace Chat and just type in EXP Builders, or here it is, Influencer Mastermind -Builders, or Influencer Mastermind -Leader, depending where you are in this, and join it. And they have a roster of everybody that is in these groups, and that roster they update every month. Now, why this is so interesting is, and this is what one of the things I wanted to share. I looked at the August 1st roster. There are only 4,500 agents that are in any of these groups. And this is everybody. This isn't not just those that are in Workplace Chat. There's only 4,500 out of 88,000 that are doing this. Amazing to me. So if EXP is looking at 500,000 agents within a 5-year span, that was last year, they made that dedication. I don't know what that percentage is if somebody wants to do it on the calculator, but we're talking 4,500 agents in the list that are doing agent attraction. There is, all of the rest of them aren't, which is fine. If they don't want to, they don't want to, but I'm amazed by that. I just got to say, I'm just amazed, because it's kind of,
it is a great way to dispel the myth that all we do is recruit. If we have, that many people and only so few actually do recruit, or attract, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, David.
Yeah. I know.
Lynn, I
Okay,
have a good question about FLQA.
Yeah.
Do you know if an agent can still be considered FLQA if the transaction is something that they're co-broking with another agent, or does it need to be their own single transaction within that time period? So in other words, maybe it was a team member that you partnered up with, and if they could be considered an FLQA if they're a co-broke on a transaction, or does it need to be their own transaction?
If they made over $5,000, it doesn't matter. That's the threshold, $5,000 every 6 months that they brought in, that then they shared with EXP.
Okay, so if they paid in 5,000 in commission to EXP, okay, all right, gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
In most cases, no. Like a referral, or if your team is making 10-20%, whatever it is.
Right.
But
you need a couple transactions to be FLQA unless they're doing stuff on their own as well.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to share this too. This is a pretty small one. This is pretty simple. And we're going to take some volunteers to do some others. But if we look at this, and I'm sorry if you all know this already, but I just want to make sure everybody does. So again, we've got 7 lines. I call them cascading lines, and everybody makes fun of me because it's all foofy words. But anyway, I look at these as 7 cascading lines. Now, on the first line, this is someone that you bring in very on your own. You brought them in, they're under you, number one, perfect. You only need one person to open that line. That one person you brought in starts that. Now, the second line, you would have to bring in 5 agents on the first line to open the second line. You follow me? You would have to have 10 agents on your front line to open up the third line. Now, I just did this at 15, very small. So let's say you brought in 5 agents. This means you are getting the share percentage on these 5 agents. No. This means if they cap. So I wanted to get back to that. I don't know if everybody knows this piece. So all the 20% that we all pay into EXP, what happens there is EXP as a company decided we're going to take half of that money and pay the bills. We're going to keep everything going. We're going to keep EXP World working. We're going to take the other half and we're going to give it back to the agents that helped us grow. So think about that. We only got 4,500 agents doing this, and I hope I'm wrong on that. I got to do some more research, but so that means the money's not coming from an agent. It's not coming from you. It's coming from EXP that we already paid into it. So that means on a regular cap, on a full cap of $16,000, you can generate $2,800 on your own from that one person if they cap. They're not all going to cap, and we took care of that down there. But anyway, so that's where that comes from. If you are on a team, or if someone that you bring on is on a team that has an $8,000 cap, or they have a $4,000 cap, which is mega icon teams, that 2,800 is then cut in half, and then it's cut in quarters. So that's how that works. But let's just say that you've got 5 people that you've brought on. Who knows, takes 1, 2, 3 years, however long it takes, and they all cap, you're making $1,400, and that's an annual number, and that's paid on a monthly basis. And then let's say, because you have 5, and those 5 bring in 10, that's another $32,000. So that means if they all cap, it's a $46,000 payout to you. They won't. I either take the third cap or the half cap when I'm playing with these numbers, because they're all not going to cap. But anyway, so that means just this is another $23,000 a year for you. And it's like the best business ever. There's no overhead. There's nothing you got to put into it. It's just you're having conversations with people. That's all it is. And they join, and there you go. So this is kind of a smaller one. We'll get Lewis, what's your question? What if their cap is only $4,000? I just answered that. Are you cool with that answer? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it was actually related to the FLQA agents. When you and Frank were talking about it before, you said once they pay, I think it was 5,000 back to EXP. But what happens if their cap is only 4,000?
All right, I'm not sure I'm understanding what you're saying.
What you were just talking about.
Oh, no. Oh, 2 different things there, Lewis.
Okay.
The cap is $4,000. That's fine. That's what we just went over. So this number for a capping agent that's a $16,000 agent, their cap, you can make $2,800. The $5,000 is that person becomes a qualifying agent when they have commission paid to them of $5,000, which is then split with EXP. Paid to them. So
Okay.
that's 2 different things. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it wouldn't have anything to do with the person's cap only being 5,000 or 4,000 then, because it's based on.
No, that matters here.
Okay.
It doesn't turn into an FLQA. That's not what that is.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Sorry.
Okay. I'm going to do one more, and if anybody has any questions, that's fine. Then we're going to do one specifically. So let's say we've got, you've got 90 agents. This could take a year, 2 years, 3 years, however long. You've got 90 agents. Now, if you'll notice here, you've got 15 that are on your frontline qualifying agent, which means you here can get up to the 4th level. So these 15 bring in a few and bring in a few and bring in a few because you have 15. Oh, sorry, because you have 15 in your FLQA, that means you can get to the 4th level. You have to have 30 FLQA to get into the 7th level. They just brought that down. That used to be 40. And just a few months ago, they brought that down to 30. So if you have 30 frontline qualifying agents, and we're talking about much bigger numbers now, then you will go down all the levels and be able to do income from there. And we're going to play with that in a minute. So just under these numbers, just under your 15, 20, 25, and 30, again, you're getting there because you have 15 frontline qualifying agents. That's $192,000 a year, again, paid on a monthly basis. If they only cap half, that's still about another 100 grand. It's, you know, it starts to make sense that it makes sense. Why would you not do this if, you know, you're looking longer term? You can even if it's just a 3rd cap, and of course I know the market's changing and things are happening there, but even at a 3rd cap, that's still another 65,000. So any questions on that? Hey, Megan.
Hey again, are you gonna, can you share these with us after so that we have them? Just, it makes sense, but just to be able to reference them, even just for ourselves. Will you share?
Oh,
Okay.
You'll have resources from everything that we did here.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mike, nice background, by the way. Okay. All right, next one. Just so you know how this works as well, and I'm telling you this so you can explain it all to everybody else if you need to. So once you have one closing at EXP, your very first, they open up an Edward Jones account for you. They put $200 worth of EXP stock in it, which is up to, I don't know, Frank, you must know, you look every day. What's the stock up to today?
We're like hovering right around 22, 23 bucks. I think we're 20.94 right now.
Oh, thank you. I knew you'd know.
Yeah.
Now, so that just opens everything. Now, for everybody in your rev share group, so that one we just had was 15 in your front line. They give you $400 worth of stock on those 15 people's very first transaction. You don't get it year after year, you get it once, but that's $6,000 worth of stock you didn't have to do anything with. And then if you cap, they give you $400 worth of stock. So the average is about 6,600. Now, I think you all know if you hit Icon, which is you cap plus another 20 transactions or $5,000 going into the company, they give you back your 16,000 in EXP stock. So
where that
David,
says, I'm sorry, yeah, where that says average stock award for TMB, what is TMB?
I'm sorry,
falling behind.
no, that I shouldn't have put that. That's part of my team. That's something else.
Oh,
but
okay.
I should have left that out, but the numbers are the same.
Okay.
David, you went through this. Tell us, because David's an icon. Tell us, you must have been thrilled to see that.
Yeah, so you can get up to your 16 grand back in stock awards. There's some cultural milestones that you have to cover, like, you know, give a little bit back of yourself throughout the year, and that 16 grand comes in tranches. Like you get your first 8,000 is a combination of like showing up at the EXP events, gives you a couple of grand worth of stock for each event that you show up at, and then also fulfilling the cultural requirements, you know, participating in various EXP events, teaching in EXP University, which I teach every other Tuesday anyway. So I was able to fulfill my cultural requirements easily. Yeah, it's super easy for me. It's really not hard to get all that. And it's amazing how much it does add up. And like Frank, I've watched the stock like a hawk now, really see what our numbers are each day. And almost to the level it stresses me out, like, oh no, it went down 2 points, you know, but then it goes back up afterwards. And you know, it's kind of fun to watch that go, but it's incredible. When I talk to people, I literally made enough in stock awards that I could cover my daughter's first year of college, you know, so that really hits home. That's a real world thing whenever I talk to people. And that's one thing that I use a lot when I talk to people about how, you know, when you get, you know, when you reach milestones at other brokerages, they give you a nice plaque. Here we give you actual dollars, you know, where you can actually, yeah, it really makes such a big difference. Like I could give, I mean, I love the awards, the plaques and all that, nice, but it just sits there. It doesn't do anything for me, you know, so.
Yeah. And do we have any other icons here? Melissa, you're here. Anybody else an icon? No. All right. Well, you're all getting there.
Hi, Carolyn. I have a basic question.
Sure, Rachel.
Are there any, or what is the time frame, like you have to reach these, numbers by? Do you have to do it within a certain, 6 months, a year,
Which numbers are you talking about? Revenue share or
or? The caps,
that's
I
a
don't know,
yearly,
just all of
that's
it.
yearly on your anniversary.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna go, I wanna pull one of these up. So I need a volunteer that wants to talk through. All right, somebody volunteer that wants to do the numbers of what their goals might be. And we can go through that. Who wants to do that?
I'll volunteer. Sure.
Who else? Did somebody else say that? Who, I didn't see.
I,
who
s-
said-
I said me, David. I'll volunteer if you want. If you need a guinea pig.
Okay, anybody we haven't heard from? Want to volunteer? No offense, David.
No, it's okay by all means. I'm just filling in the void. That's all. Yeah.
I know you're so good at that. I'm trying to get everybody involved. All right, well, let's take it then. Let's take it then. All
Okay.
right, David, what would you love to see? Not what you got, just what would you love to see?
Well, I mean, ultimately, I'd like to see numbers like some of the big guys are doing, but honestly, I would be. I think about the total net of what I'm going to get each year, and if I could crack 200 grand a year in revenue share, I would be extremely comfortable and very happy with that because I know that whatever happens in my business, I'll have myself covered, with the revenue share. So, like, if I were to become incapacitated or whatever,
Okay, but
200
give me
grand a year.
numbers. That's all great. Give me numbers. What do you want to see?
Well,
in your
what would
first line?
take? Oh, my first line. Well, I mean, ultimately 20 or 25, something like that, at least.
All right, what about the second? Now, those 25, obviously, that brings you down to line 6 to keep things rolling along.
Yes. So
Now, on that, so just bear with me, David. On that second line, so you've got 25 people in here. Now, the second line are those 25 people bring in. What do you think that number would be?
So let's say they each bring in an average of, I don't know, 2 people each. Let's double it maybe.
Okay. And what do you think will happen on the next line?
Because you got that many people and not that many participate, I'll say maybe you go 75 on that line. You don't quite double, because not everybody's going to be as engaged, probably.
Yeah. Okay. And then from there, what do you think about?
Let's
fourth line?
do maybe 110.
Okay, now keep in mind here, I personally think that you have influence over your first 3 lines. You're usually connected within your first 3 lines
Okay.
somehow.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And then after that, the people show up, you don't even know their name, unfortunately, which is kind of a fun thing. Like, who's that? Oh, that's fun. You go say hello or whatever. But
Right.
then you don't have any, you've got traction now, but you don't have much influence. So where do you think it would go from 110? Then we're going to show some real ones.
Well, what I'd like to do is do some events and things that, like Tom is doing and bring more people to the party, so to speak. But let's say that number goes to 125 on that line 5. I want to be very conservative. I don't want to like blow it up like with crazy.
Absolutely. No pie in the sky. All right. How about the 6th line? What do you think from that 125 will happen?
Maybe it goes up to, I don't know, 150.
And
Because
then
that's a large, broad, crop of people. And then line 7, maybe I'm as much as 200 on the 7th line.
okay, we're
Because
not going to do that because you only have 25 up here. You're not going to.
Oh, okay.
You will still get a percentage. It's just
Yeah.
much
Okay.
smaller. So even at this, you're at 912,000.
Oh, that'll get me by. That'll just get me by.
All right,
Yeah,
that's if they
good.
fully cap, right?
Right. They won't all cap. No.
So you take 456 and that, or you take 310, either way. But what
310
happens
is
there,
probably,
it's paid on a monthly basis and it goes out, it's an annual number and it's cumulative.
Right.
It keeps going out.
Yeah.
And then what that brings you in for stock gifting is another 10,000. And obviously the award for capping is another 400. So this is directly related to what your stock is as well.
Oh, so when I get somebody who closes in my revenue share group for their first closing, then I'll get a $10,000 stock award? Is that
No,
what that
you
is?
get a $400 stock award. You
Oh,
have
this is what it adds up
25.
to. I
You
see.
have 25 in that line, so you have $10,000 there.
Oh, I see. So it's only stock awards my first group, the people that are directly under me, right?
Your
Is that what you're
first
saying?
group only one time.
Only once. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any
All right.
questions on that? You guys are all good. Okay.
Yeah.
Carolyn, I do have a question.
Yeah.
So when you bring someone joins and they're in your downline and the first closing they have, so is that the one time only or is it an annual
Nope,
when they
one time.
close?
One time.
One time. And then when they attract someone in their downline, then they would get, when they close that one time, do we get anything on that?
No. No.
Okay.
No, they do. The person that brought them in gets that. So it's only the first line and it's only the first time. $400 worth of EXP stock. It started when it was $8 when I started. I'm happy to hear your numbers, Frank.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so here's a couple of samples. Now this is someone with 114. This is what you find in your my EXP rev share. So this person has 32, they're frontline qualifying agents. Now they've opened up all 7 lines.
Well, no, they got 12 frontline qualifyings.
Yes, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. So it's just 12. They've got 32, of which 20 aren't qualifying. My new agents, that means how many they had in the past month. So when you look at these numbers, as we were just doing these, David, so level 1 is 32, level 2 is 49, 23, 7, 1, 2, and so on it goes. You have no idea. We're going to go over something at the next one. There's a real reason to keep everybody engaged. Like I said, you are on the first 3 levels, you're usually involved. Get involved.
Right.
I mean, I train anybody that's new. I will train anybody to do this piece. And then those numbers just keep going because they know what to do. So I think that's an important piece, but you'll see. So their last paid was 4,100. Their unpaid was 47.69, and they're expected next. So what this means is expected next. Let's say this is July 31st. And that's what they should expect. You're going to get more money than it says here because they take a percentage. They want to make sure X percent is paid out in revenue share. So this is always a higher number than it looks like here. Unpaid means everybody that was in the last month. But if there was a closing from somebody in your group that was August 1st, that's going to be unpaid, but you will be paid everything through July 31st. And it's usually like, if you go in right now, your rev share is going to say processing because they're in the middle of starting to do those processes. And then here's another one, somebody that's really cranking it. They've got 1,200 agents here. Now, this took them 4 years to do this. They've got frontline qualifying of 37, so they've opened up every line. I'm sorry, 25, so they've opened 6. I keep doing that. I'm so sorry. Their new agents that month were 49, but look at these numbers on just this 37. I'm sorry, this is not clear. On this 37, those 37 brought in 385, who brought in 315. It just keeps going. So you don't know. It depends on how involved you want to be long-term. If you just want those and ignore everybody, fine. But this particular person trains everybody too. They train everybody on what to do it. They're there for support. And that's why his numbers. So the last paid was 47 grand. The expected net was 36. The unpaid was 42. So this 42 minus 36 is what he begins the next month on. So this only took 4 years. He's happy camper. All right, any questions on that? I know that's a lot. If you already understand it, I'm sorry for reiterating. My apologies for that.
Are these people in your downline?
I'm sorry?
Are these people in your downline?
This isn't me. There's
No.
somebody. These are just samples. It's a sample. It's not me. I'm not gonna show you mine. Megan, did you have a question too? No. Did somebody else or no?
I do. I just have one question.
Hey, Brenda.
So, because a lot of it is kind of like flying
Yeah.
over my head right now, but is the I don't know, the entry point or the like beginning discussion is that in order to qualify for the program, you have to have had at least one transaction and gotten a commission of $5,000, and then you qualify to bring in other agents?
No, you can bring in as many as you want. To earn revenue share is that $5,000. That opens up the line for revenue share. You can bring in as many as you want. You could bring in 100 people that aren't doing anything. You still wouldn't open that line until one of them had a transaction of at least $5,000 commission.
Do you have to have a transaction of $5,000 or a commission of $5,000 before you?
No.
No, it's just one of them has to. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Matthew, can you tell everybody what you just wrote in chat, please? Do you mind?
I sent that, and I also sent the link. Since they had the recent changes where they reduced the number of agents you would need as 40 to be able to tap into all 7. They also made a change where they reduced the vesting periods for the stock for the icon award. So when you're an icon agent, once you reach that icon status, the $8,000 in stock they give you initially, that still has a 3-year vesting period. But what they switched up is the second 4,000 they give you, it's called cultural, and that's when you do training or stuff like that, like what's his name mentioned. I think David mentioned he does. So that $4,000 in stock vest in just 1 year. So that helps you out a little bit. So you don't have to wait 3 years to be able to cash that out if you needed it. And then the next 4,000 you get the last 4,000 is when you attend 2 EXP events. And now that has a 0 vesting period. So you can tap into that stock. And I wonder why they do that. Maybe it's because you need that cash to travel to the events or buy the tickets, but that's something new. So I put that in there, and then I put the link that verifies it. If you go down, that's straight from EXP stock. It goes down.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
So what's the definition of an icon agent?
An icon agent is someone that has capped, number 1. Number 2, has added has done an additional 20 transactions on top of that. And then so they have sent another $5,000 into EXP. There's more to it. Matthew, you might be able to speak to that too. The other things you have to do, Dave and Melissa, you're all icons. But there's cultural things that you have to do. You've got to go to events, things like anything else, Matthew, you want to share about that?
I'm not an icon agent, so but yeah, you're right.
About it.
Yeah, I think once you close, depending on your market, right? Once you cap and then once you close, I think it's 24 transactions depending on your market. So once you cap and then you close an additional 20 transactions, then you reach icon status, and then that's when you can get your $16,000 what you paid in to your cap back in the form of stock. So and then they give. Go ahead.
I was going to say, actually, you're mostly right on that. It's around that number of transactions, but it's actually a number of how much more transaction fees are paid in. You have to pay in an additional $5,000 in transaction fees, and our transaction fees are $250 each. If you have that entire transaction to yourself, they did have it to where whenever you split it, that transaction fee gets split in half. I think they've changed that, so it's probably closer to that. Also, something that's really cool is if you don't have enough, sales transactions, rental lease transactions also count towards icon, and that's where those transaction fees might be a little less than $250 per transaction fee, but generally you're right in there between 20 to 24 deals usually does it for you, unless there's a lot of leases that are less than the $250 transaction fee.
And referrals are still part of that too, as well, I think.
You get a portion of it, yes. And I think in the referrals, I believe they now changed it to where each side of the referral now pays their own respective $250 transaction fee. It used to be you'd split that with the referral agent, but now they just take it full out of both sides. EXP actually makes a little more money that way, but it also helps us icons get closer to iconing, because I've had referrals where I wasn't getting 100% of the transaction fee, and I had to do a lot more deals to get to be icon than just 20 deals because the transaction fee was diminished due to the referral split.
Yeah, and I think too, David, since you are icon, I'm not. But I also think if you sell luxury homes, there's another caveat, right? If you sell luxury homes and you cap on one deal or something like that, and then you pay those fees in quickly, I think you have to pay, like what you said, a certain amount of money, and then you get the stock back. So you don't even have to do 20
Yeah.
transactions.
Right. If you do a large amount, you can, it's kind of a workaround. I haven't been that lucky yet, so it's not my experience, but yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
And you know what,
Okay.
while we're on this topic, I want to bring up, there's a guy, Chris, I can't remember his last name. I wrote it down, but if anybody knows Mike Sherrard, who's a really big agent attractor, he has a lot of YouTube channels. And then he was recruited by Connor Steinbeck. Well, this guy that I was on a couple meetings with, Chris, he's the one who recruited Connor Steinbeck. So he has like 2,800 people in his downline, but FLQAs, he only has 9. So he had 10, so he was able to tap in. So he said, because he didn't have those 10, you have to really know your numbers. He was missing out on like $35,000 a month. So he's really trying to get that 10th person. So it does matter.
It does matter, that front line, absolutely. It turns everything else on. Yep. Okay, so this is just Revenue Share 101, USA and Canada. I will send this to you so you'll know it. It's just everything we talked about, all of the pieces to it. And then I know we're over time here. So I wanted everybody just to think about like, what's their why? So if you were to, let's just go through everybody real fast. Why do you want to do this? Jackson, we'll start with you. Anybody can stay later with any other questions too. I just want to be respectful of everybody.
So why do I want to do rev share, or
why are you here? Why do you want to do agent attraction?
I guess because of the wealth, the freedom. I've got, kids, but it's, really to make my life financially better.
Fair enough. That's your reason. That's all good. Let's keep going because we're past time. Frank, tell us.
I think my why is just that I want to share the passion that I found within EXP with as many people as possible and just help benefit their lives.
Perfect. Matthew, you had your hand raised and tell me why.
I'll tell you why. Because I'm doing this for my family, right? I have 3 adult children and a wife, but I was a foster kid most of my childhood, and then I aged out, and then I became a social worker, and I was a social worker for 20 years, which was the most emotionally engaging and hard jobs to do. And I get $1,900 a month in retirement. That's it for 20 years of really hard social work, which is never just a 9 to 5, right? You're working late at night, taking foster kids different places. But anyways, so this is an opportunity that I have to be able to create wealth. I'm 60, so I have maybe, I'm thinking 10 years that I can actually leave a legacy for my children and grandchildren that was never left for me, which I'm not complaining because I'm happy, but that's my why.
Perfect. Lou, how about you? Louis, what's your why?
I think my why is just because I see a lot of agents that are brand new or whatever. They don't have any structure, they don't have any help, and they're kind of in it by themselves, for themselves, and they don't really have any help at all. And I think that EXP has so much to offer for our agents specifically, and I think that just they're almost doing themselves a disservice by not understanding and learning what EXP has to offer. So I guess that's my why, is more just along the lines of just educating everybody.
Awesome. Megan, how about you? Thank you.
Well, just like Matthew said, I want to create a legacy for my son. I have a 9-year-old. His name is Gage. And I want to create a legacy for him. And I want to create a solid financial base, financial and time freedom, right? Because production is like, go, and I want to create more freedom so that I can be more with, spend more time with him. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Thank you. Brenda, how about you?
Can you hear me? I want to build residual income and create like a legacy for my family.
Beautiful. Very clear. David, how about you?
Well, I need a lot of oh, wait. Shoot, hang on here. Okay, there we go. I need a lot of car parts. I have these really shitty old cars that I'm
Now,
trying to
here we
rebuild.
go again.
No, just like everyone, that security of not having to worry about everything every month all the time, and car parts and upgrades, I'll be honest with you. But a lot of that, and be able to take care of my kids' college, and just have that assurance more than anything.
Perfect. Rachel.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna echo Megan. Mine is 5 years old and he's running around barking with the dog, but he is my why every day.
Beautiful. Hal, how about you?
Improving an exit strategy through the residual income.
I get that one. Harry. Oh, you're muted, buddy. Harry, you're muted.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
So for me, I'd rather work with agents and professional people than emotional buyers and sellers.
Okay. Hey, Sue, how about you? Oh, you're muted.
Well, I started real estate at the age of 54. That was 15 years ago.
You don't too much information, Sue.
So I'm really looking to really stop running around, especially with buyers, especially in this market, and have residual income.
Perfectly good reason. Thank you. Lovey, how about you? I love your name. How could you not love that name?
Thank you. Thank you. My why is kind of like the other moms. I didn't have a great upbringing, so I want to change that for my son, and I'm just really a girl's girl, so I want to help more women in real estate understand that they can do this, and it's not as hard as it seems once you get a great understanding of it. So that's my why.
Beautiful. David Johnson, Mr. Chicagoland. Oh, you're muted now.
Good, there we go. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna kind of mirror Hal there. Been doing this for 30 years, looked at myself as more of a mentor than a team builder, but I love the concept, and had to start kind of getting the exit strategy more in place and ready to go in that aspect.
We're of that age, aren't we, David?
60 in a couple of months, ready to go.
Horatio, welcome from Mexico. I'm sorry we haven't chatted first. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Not a problem. I'm here listening to you all.
I see you listening.
So yeah, I'm one of the first agents to have joined the XP here in Mexico when I first launched 2.5 years ago. I'm originally from Vancouver, actually. So my why is really I had to make it a go down here. I've been consulting to real estate agents for the last 10 years. So it allowed me to really blend my joy for that and not lose my career in consulting, while at the same time being able to build out a group of agents, invite agents that I had already worked with. And now my wife, who used to be a nurse in Australia, is now an EXP realtor as well here in Mexico. So, I mean, those are my three whys: my agents who used to be clients, my wife, and the fact that we're here in a new country. So, yeah.
And you are an international guy, Australia, Mexico, very cool.
Yeah, I got fortunate because a lot of my clients who I consulted to decided to transition, and out of loyalty, they allowed me to join first. And so my downline grew pretty quickly with agents in Vancouver. And so they've been growing the team and so on and so forth. But yeah, that was all for my consulting. So it allowed me to put that to good use as well. Yeah, so got fortunate. So thank you for having me.
Oh, glad you're here. Mike from Tennessee.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, my why is pretty easy. I got 5 kids and I'm broke. No, I'm just kidding.
Enough said.
The biggest why is I have a 17-year-old who just took his ACT for the first time ever and scored a 35 on it and is going to MIT in about a year. So I'm really going to be broke and I got to build this quick. So I'm looking at empire building and, you know, leaving some kind of legacy for my children with 5 kids. You know, I grew up in a single parent home as well. And so I want to leave a life better for them than I grew up with. And that's me at the end of the day.
Nice, nice. And Robin, I think you're the last. Don't mean to put you last, Robin. Oh, you've got to unmute.
I'm sorry, I thought I would be the first, but I am excuse me one second, getting ready to get my client into a house. But my why would be just for financial independence. So I'm actually with a client now, so I won't go into detail,
keep
but
going.
that's
All right.
my why.
Thank you. No, that's all great. Great. So just a couple of things for next time. So we're really going to get into the how to do this, the pieces, the scripts, what to say, how to ask, what this. So between now and next week, if you guys can just write down your goals for agent, just scratch them out on a piece of paper, what you want to have 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years, and when you're going to start. Hopefully it's today. So just jot that down for next time. And then just some thoughts about where you're going to find those people. How you want to do that? What is your personality? Is it events? Is it calls, texting, social media? What is it? How do you want to do it? How would you be comfortable doing it? And then the last thought is just, are you planning on starting a team? That changes everything. Which is fine. It's all great, but I just want to make sure everybody knows about the team aspect. If you choose to start a team and you're going to be doing agent attraction, there's little tweaks we have to that. So we didn't get to everything today. I apologize, and I apologize that we are over time, but great conversations, and thank you for participating. And you can reach me anytime if you have any questions. If we didn't cover something, if you're just wondering, please feel free to say hello and check everything out. But thank you. We'll see you next time. Appreciate you coming.
You. Have a nice day.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you. Nice to meet everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks. Take care. Oh, Harry, I like that guy. Is he from Incredibles? Who's he from?
Looks just like me.
Horatio, you're hard at work. We'll see you next time. You guys all good? Okay.